Alice's sister sits on a blanket by a slow river and reads in warm light. The pages hold no pictures, but her gaze softens as if the words have weight. Alice lounges in the grass and watches the river slide past. She tries to focus on her sister's book, then gives up and scans the trees. The white rabbit bursts onto the path, clutching a pocket watch like it is life itself. It mutters about lateness and darts and sharp zigzags through the grass. Alice runs after the rabbit, skirt and apron whipping at her knees. She sees a flash of red cloth and the glint of the watch ahead. The round hole looks too small for a sensible adventure. Cold air breathes out from the roots, carrying a faint smell of damp earth. Alice falls through a long tunnel that feels like a sideways hallway. Cupboards and shelves slide past her as if politely arranged for a visitor. The tunnel stretches on with lamps and drawers that should have crashed long ago. Gravity feels optional, like a rule written in pencil. Alice lands in a bright hall lined with doors of every size. She tries a few handles and finds them all locked. On a glass table, Alice spots a tiny golden key and a small bottle with a neat label. She picks up each item as if it might explain the room. After a sip, the hall swells around Alice like a tide. She shrinks until the table leg looks like a pillar. Alice eats a small cake, convinced it will solve everything. Instead, she grows upward too fast, arms flailing for balance. Tears spill and turn into water that spreads across the glossy floor. The hall becomes a shallow lake that reflects doors like broken mirrors. Alice finds herself small again, now bobbing in the water she made. She paddles with quick strokes and keeps the key above the surface. The mouse tries to speak with dignity while clinging to a floating page. Its blue scarf is soaked, and the walking stick looks too proud for the situation. The dodo waddles onto the damp bank and declares a running contest as the only solution. It blows a whistle and points in a circle as if that explains the plan. When the running stops, Alice is told to hand out prizes. She gives comfits to everyone and tries to smile like a proper host. The white rabbit returns in a panic, muttering about the Duchess and missing gloves. It drops a fan and a pair of tiny gloves in its hurry. Alice reaches a small cottage and stands at the door with fan and gloves in hand. The place looks ordinary, which makes it feel even stranger after the hall of doors. Inside the cottage, Alice finds another small bottle waiting on a table. The label offers no comfort, only certainty. The room tightens around Alice as she grows too large for it. Chairs scrape and slide as her knees lift toward her chest. Outside the cottage, a small lizard messenger approaches with a rolled letter. It peers up at the window like the task is bigger than its body. Alice shrinks enough to slip free and stumbles into the yard. She gulps fresh air as if it can reset her thoughts. The grass towers above the path like a green forest of blades. Dewdrops cling to the tips like glass beads. A very large fluffy puppy bounds through the meadow, nose down and tail high. Its blue collar ribbon flashes as it changes direction. Alice raises a stick like a flag and tries to coax the puppy away from her. The puppy sniffs close, and the warm breath feels like a gust. Ahead, giant mushrooms rise like pillars in pale blue mist. Sunbeams cut through the haze in clean lines. A caterpillar sits on a mushroom cap, calm as a judge. Smoke curls from its pipe in slow rings that drift without hurry. Alice learns the mushroom can change her size in either direction. She breaks off 2 pieces and holds them like tools. A pigeon in a nest squawks accusations from the branches above. It insists Alice must be something dangerous because she is different. Alice climbs down from the tree with scraped hands and tangled hair ribbon. She shakes leaves from her apron and tries to steady her breathing. A crooked path leads to a house with too many corners and an odd silence. Hedges lean inward as if listening. The Duchess appears in a doorway, draped in purple and sharp certainty. Her fan hides half her face and reveals the other half at the wrong moments. In the kitchen, the cook turns noise into routine with brutal calm. Pots clang, lids slam, and spice dust hangs in the air like fog. Alice ends up carrying a wrapped bundle that squirms in her arms. The weight shifts in strange pulses that do not match breathing. The blanket slips and falls open on the path. The moment hangs in silence as if waiting for a reaction. A chubby purple cat appears on a branch with a grin that seems too bright for daylight. The smile arrives first, then the eyes, then the rest. Alice asks the cat for directions, hoping for simple answers. The cat offers riddles with the confidence of a map. A long tea table sits under trees already set as if the guests might return any second. Cups steam even when no one lifts them. The March hare pours tea with frantic enthusiasm, splashing more than it serves. It rearranges cups as if order can be invented through motion. The Mad Hatter greets Alice like she has interrupted a sacred meeting. His patched clothes and tall hat look like they survived a storm of ideas. A mouse sleeps curled in a teacup, impossible and accepted. It murmurs a few words that almost form a story, then sinks back into silence. Alice sits at the end of the table and tries to join the talk. Questions turn into riddles and answers slip sideways into nonsense. The Mad Hatter offers a riddle and demands a solution while rejecting every solution. He complains about time as if time is a person who insulted him. Alice leaves the tea table and spots a small door hidden in a tree. The tiny golden key fits as if it has been waiting for this moment. A grand rose garden opens ahead with hedges shaped like hearts. The roses look perfect at first glance, like decorations for a celebration. Alice walks the path and notices petals smeared with fresh color. She hears harsh shouting nearby and freezes mid-step. A living playing card tends the roses with quick, nervous brush strokes. Pain and perfection become the same task. A trumpet sound cuts through the garden and makes Alice stand straight. A royal procession approaches off-screen like a storm behind a curtain. A croquet lawn waits like a game board drawn onto grass. Hoops sit in neat lines and poles mark invisible rules. Alice is pushed into the game and given a mallet. Instructions arrive as contradictions and then change again. The purple cat reappears, drifting above a hedge as if gravity is optional. Its grin floats like a sign that danger is amusing to someone. The Queen of Hearts rages off-screen, ordering beheadings as if naming chores. The words make Alice's stomach drop, even though no blade is seen. The Duchess returns and speaks about rules and morals as if they are toys. She leans close, insisting that meaning can be forced onto anything with enough confidence. Sudden shouts erupt and unseen arrests begin along the path. The game turns into danger with no warning. A rocky path leads down toward the sea, and the wind scrapes every blade of grass. The sound of waves feels cleaner than the shouting behind her. A griffin appears on the rocks and addresses Alice with brisk authority. It speaks like an officer guiding a recruit through a drill. A sad creature with a calf head sits on wet stones and weeps over old lessons. The grief is deep, even when the words are absurd. Alice sits with the two creatures and shares pieces of her journey. Saying it aloud makes every moment sound stranger, and that somehow steadies her. A vast court hall rises ahead and long tables, too formal to be comforting. The space swallows sound and turns whispers into echoes. The White Rabbit appears again, now as a court messenger with a scroll and a ticking watch. Ceremony hangs on its shoulders like another coat. The Mad Hatter is called to speak and tries to sound proper while wobbling on jokes. His confidence flickers like a candle in wind. Alice is dragged into the argument as proof and witness at once. She grows larger as her confidence rises, until the hall feels too small to contain her. A puzzling poem is produced and demanded to explain everything. The king insists on meaning, and the queen insists on obedience. Back at the riverbank, Alice's sister blinks awake from her daydream. The sunlight warms her hands, and the book feels heavier with imagined memories.